My guest today is one of the West End's most sought-after leading men. While we wait patiently for him to make his Broadway debut, he's in town doing a series of intimate concerts downtown and prepping to play Jean Valjean in Les Miserables in Toronto. Please welcome Ramin Karimloo.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
So good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
I have to get like my number one Ramin Karimloo memory out of the way. Can we do this?
Yes, sir.
So a few years ago, I open up a magazine, and there's this dude naked with a phantom mask over his junk,
Yeah.
and it's you. And I said, who the hell is that guy? And why did they let him put a phantom mask on it? Did Andrew Lloyd Webber approve that photo?
I don't know. I wish I'd never approved to do that. No.
Is that photo haunting you now?
A little bit, but it was for a good cause. And actually, recently, someone said to me, they went and got checked because they knew me in that photo, which made them think about, their own junk, as you call it. And they got
Well, wait, it was a campaign for what?
testicular cancer.
Oh.
Otherwise, I would never have done it otherwise.
Okay. So you were covering the testicles for testicular cancer.
Well, yeah, doing my best. There's a hole in the mask.
Hilarious. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. So that's a big first impression for someone. And I literally thought, who the hell is this guy?
See.
And here you are.
Yeah.
It turns out you're talented too.
Well, that's arguable, but,
So welcome to New York.
Yeah, it's great. I've been here.
What are you doing here? You're like rocking out downtown.
Trying to, we got these, it's sort of like the last few shows before I stopped touring for quite some time. So we thought I'd get the band together and get me my voice starting to get tuned up for Jean Valjean.
Uh-huh.
So we'll finish that off this week and head back to Canada.
So tell me about these shows. What are you doing?
Well, I've been touring now for what feels like about 18 months.
Right, you have an album.
That's right, with Sony.
Which has two names. In London, it's Ramin.
Don't know why.
And here it's Human Heart, right?
Yeah, all questions and
Which
complaints.
title do you like better?
I kind of like Human Heart, to be
Human Heart.
honest.
Let's go with that. The other one's just your name.
Yeah, and they can't pronounce it, so that's why they dropped the last name.
People can't pronounce Ramin, Ramen.
I get so many different things.
How many things are there?
I just did the national anthem at Yankee Stadium, and I'm there ready to go, Rahim. I'm like, come on, there's no H in it, come on. So I've been touring, and I sort of developed, it's been a road to find out. When I started with Sony, it was sort of like which started developing the singer-songwriter thing. And for me, when I started, I just wanted to do the best I could and learn as much as I could. And it sort of evolved to a genre that I kind of coined a phrase, but it was a joke to begin with, called broadgrass. And it stuck because I wanted to still celebrate what I'm doing and where I've come from, and that's the theater side. And I love folk music, country, and bluegrass. And I did a show once in London, and I called it Broadway to Bluegrass-ish, because I've never done Broadway, and I'm not really bluegrass,
right.
But I'm inspired by both. So broadgrass became the term, and it sort of stuck.
So you talk about where you're from. First of all, you own the URL, another thing I love about you. You own the URL, thatiranianphantom.com, which I think is hilarious. You also have raminkarimloo.com, but
right.
thatiranianphantom.com still works. Well, I prefer that one.
Yeah, well, again, that was a joke, and I don't know how it got out. I was sitting there developing the site with the guy I was working with in Texas on it, and he goes, that would be funny if you were that. Because we made a joke. I said a joke about, that Iranian Phantom. That's how some people recognize me. Oh, you're that Iranian Phantom. So that's the only reason we bought it, as a joke at a coffee shop. And next thing you know, he set it up. I'm like,
I love it.
So
I love his joke.
thatiranianphantom.com. Because
you are that Iranian fan. So let's get your background out of the way. A lot of people probably think you're British, but you are not.
Sound just like.
You were actually born in Iran.
Iran, yeah.
Tehran. Right. And then you grew up in Canada.
Well, first we went to Italy because we escaped because of the revolution.
Wow.
So I made the first few years.
And how old were you when that happened?
I probably left when I was about 3 months old.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you don't have a lot of memories of that.
No. I'm sort of getting the story fed back to me now because it actually wasn't the greatest of times, which I'm sure many people, even now you open the paper, it's still happening. But we went to Italy for the first sort of 3 years of my life.
Then Canada.
And
then you went to London and became a musical theater star.
Well.
And now you're here sitting on the white pleather. Welcome. But yeah, it's sort of a fun mix to sort of confuse people, right?
Absolutely.
It's good to have a lot of a little mystery about you.
It's a cultural soup.
Yeah, and everyone thinks you're British.
It's funny when I read things sometimes. British actor. I'm like, am I?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not British. Am I an actor? Canadian actor. Well, I haven't worked in Canada. It's weird, but I'm just proud of everywhere I've went has been sort of welcoming. And
So growing up in Canada, you were like a teenager in Canada, right? I mean,
Yeah.
your formative years were in Canada. What
Yeah.
part of Canada?
The first half before high school was Peterborough, Ontario.
Uh-huh.
That's where my real hometown is. And then my high school years was Richmond Hill, Ontario.
Uh-huh. And
Peterborough's great, real hick, small town. And
I read that you, like, in terms of like a music influence, you love a group that I don't know, and I feel tragically unhip that I don't know the Tragically Hip.
like what you did there.
So tell me about the Tragically Hip.
I
Tell me
remember-
about teen Ramin, like in his room, like rocking out to the Tragically Hip and
That's exactly
figuring it all
right.
out.
It was a little tape.
Yeah, the cassettes.
Yeah, the album was called Up to Here, and my brother bought it, and he put it on. And I remember his voice, Gordon Downey, the singer, and a song called 38 Years Old, and then New Orleans is Sinking. I remember those songs. As 11, I was like, and the voice was so unique, and it told a great story. And that's what turned my ear and heart onto music. And then I remember listening to like Kenny Rogers, Johnny Cash, all these storytellers. And that's what's really got me going.
How did you first get on stage? Like what got you? You started in like rock bands and you started doing that, right? It wasn't, or was it about like, I want to be the Phantom of the Opera?
That's exactly what it was. Because
Really?
around 12, we had to go on a school trip, and it was the Phantom, and I couldn't think of anything worse. Because I was playing hockey, I wanted to be, tough guy and go be in the NHL. And then I thought, well, it's a day off school, so I'll go. And we went, and I saw it, and I thought, oh my God, this was unbelievable. And the Phantom was Colm Wilkinson, who has probably the coolest and most unique voice. And it just, there's tears in his voice. That's what I love about it. It's so soulful. And the story was so heartbreaking. I was like, really, it's the first time I ever remember having a frog in my throat and not thinking, what is this feeling? Why am I feeling like this?
Wow.
And then I thought, I want to do that. That's cool. Because I remember how I was so impressed by it and it's so impressionable. I thought, I want to do that. My friend went, yeah, right. I went, I bet you I'll be the Phantom.
Were you good at hockey?
At that point, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that could have been a whole different path if you had not seen that
No.
school matinee of Les Miserables? You could have.
No, because by the time I got to high school, I sort of plateaued my height. Hockey players just got bigger and bigger. I was just like, my last game I remember, I got tossed around that rink. I always got up. I was throwing body checks, but I was like hitting walls everywhere. I knew, that's it. I'm done.
So you ended up on a cruise ship, is that right?
Yeah, so at this point, I knew I wanted to be an actor because I loved De Niro. I've, got really inspired by Danny Day-Lewis, actors like that.
Uh-huh.
Jimmy Dean.
So you want to be a badass musical theater actor?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a cool blend,
Yeah, but wait till you hear about the costumes on the ship.
yeah. So tell me about this cruise ship.
So then I started working as a waiter downtown Toronto and thinking, because I couldn't afford certain lessons and whatnot. So I was in the library all the time reading about Stanislavski, Strasbourg, and anything I heard that De Niro did or Pacino did, I went and looked up those teachers, or I did what I could to learn.
Yeah.
Because I knew I had a lot to learn, still do. And then I saw an ad in the paper, singers come sing on a cruise ship, and I thought, why not? Go make some money, sing. Because at this point, I wanted just to make some money as well.
Right.
So I got the job. Well, I didn't know I got it till
How'd you audition? What did you sing?
just went down, and I sang Billy Joel's What's the Matter with the Clothes I'm Wearing?
Yeah, I love that song.
2 weeks later, I'm about to go jamming at the Fox and Fiddle in Richmond Hill on a Wednesday night. And Colm Wilkinson's PBS concert comes on TV. And it's so cheesy. It's a cheese story here. He starts singing with his son, father and son. So Aaron Wilkinson comes on, they start singing, and they start riffing at the end. You have to go, you have to go.
Uh-huh.
Phone rings. Your flight details, you got the job. Well, they were acting like I already heard. I'm like, I got the job, I'm going to England. You leave in 2 days. Do you still want the job? I'm like, yeah. So there I'm like, you have to go. And they're singing. I'm like, I got to go. I wish I didn't tell that story, to be honest.
So tell me, what were you? Did you have to were you like Danny Zuko in a Grease number, and what were you
It
doing?
was like a bunch of review shows, which was my introduction to music theater.
Okay.
Things from West Side Story, to Little Shop of Horrors.
What was like really awesome that those cruisers got to see you do? Like what did you really nail during those cruise years?
Oh, to be honest, I look back now thinking probably, I don't know if I nailed anything, but
Really?
it was just a lot of fun, and I was just constantly learning, even there.
But what were you wearing? You mentioned the costumes.
Oh my God, just
Too bad there's
exactly,
no YouTube videos.
exactly what you're thinking.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
There
a
was
lot.
some real flowery costume, like
Really?
Carnival de Rio.
That of Peter Allen, like
We had to
sparkles
do the full Monty.
You did the full Monty on the cruise ship?
Yeah, not the show, but there was a section.
The part where you have to get naked?
Yeah.
Wait, wait. They were like, we're just gonna do the last 3 minutes.
Exactly. It was the Oscars show, so it was films that,
Okay,
that
right,
won Oscars.
right.
And
Was
the
it hot stuff?
Well,
What
it
song?
was You Can Leave Your Hat On.
Oh, all right. Okay, the actual, yeah. You
That
can
was
leave
the
your hat on,
finale of the
right.
show.
So you had a hat, and then
Yeah.
later a mask, a phantom mask.
Well,
There's a theme here.
yeah, it's haunting me, it's coming back every time. Basically, you got down with the hat covering it, and the final pose is hands up,
And
the
there's
hat,
supposed to be
hat stays.
How does that work? Is there somebody
Willpower.
backstage helping you? Or how does that work?
Willpower.
Willpower.
There was a trick, obviously, but once it fell.
And how'd that go?
I think my final pose was like,
Again, no YouTube videos of this.
thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah, social
the-
media was not that big then.
And you met your wife.
That's right. She was my boss. She was a
Oh,
choreographer.
really?
I auditioned for her.
Well, that's how you got the job. She said, I want to marry that dude.
Well,
And I want to do a full Monty number. Let's do a full Monty
absolutely.
number.
How do I know what I was signing up to?
You've been working in London, and you've done some amazing roles I have not seen. I want to tell you the roles I wish I saw you do. I wish I saw you do Joe Gillis in Sunset Boulevard. You
That was
did
awesome.
that, right?
Loved it for like a week. But
Well, was that a good week?
best week. I love that role.
Who's your Norma?
Faith Brown.
Yeah, how's she?
Was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The way she sang Surrender, I have it from rehearsal still, and I won't part with it. I love it.
You did Chris in Miss Saigon.
Best time.
You've sort of like done all the big musicals.
Well, it's funny. You remind me of that. I still think, I feel like I've cracked this much, and there's so much more I need to learn. Like earlier we were talking about great actors like Terrence Mann, Norbert Leo Butz.
Right.
Those guys are phenomenal. I strive to be like them,
Huh. What about them do you strive for? Like,
I
what
just
kind of
love
things
their-
do you want to do?
For me, my word is diversity, and I look at their career and how diverse
Uh-huh.
the things they've done, the roles that, from Javert to what he's doing in Pippin,
Yeah.
from the Norbert from last 5 years to Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Right. Yeah.
Phenomenal
Yeah.
job, And I think that's what's exciting about Broadway. There's so much going on here.
Uh-huh. Let's talk about Les Miserables. So you have a long history now with this show. You started as, how do you say his name?
Fui.
How do you say it?
Fui?
Philly?
No, Fui.
Philly?
Fui. Yeah, I'm saying it
Philly?
wrong now. Now you're making me second guess
Philly.
it. Fui.
Philly. Now I want you to pronounce, another person sat there and pronounce the guy whose name starts with an E.
Angeras.
Huh?
Angeras.
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 Angeras. And you played
I may not be saying it right.
And you played Marius, Marius, whatever. And now you're Jean Valjean. You played Jean Valjean in London, and now you're going to do it up in Canada.
Yep.
You've been all over that barricade.
Up
It's
and down.
crazy.
Yeah. It's funny, after playing Angeras, I thought, I think my time with Les Mis is done, because I never wanted to play Valjean. It's a role I never aspired to want to play. I thought it was a great role, but not for me.
Yeah.
If anything, Javert. I think Cameron McIntosh planted the seed during the O2 concert,
Yep.
the 25th anniversary of Les Mis. And he goes, so when are you going to play Valjean for me? I was like, come on. I was like, I'll play Javert. He goes, no, but we need like that animal to play Valjean. And then that was when Alfie Bowie went, 2, 4, 6, 0, 1. And he was rehearsing, and I went, because I don't sound like that. He goes, no, but you'll do you, you'll be fine. So, never talked about it since. And then the 25th anniversary of Phantom came around.
Right.
And at this point,
Which is available on DVD, I mean, Blu-ray and
Apparently.
Netflix streaming.
From
I've
what I
streamed it
hear.
many times.
so then Cameron sits down with me and he says, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what's that? He goes, play Jean Valjean. I was like, no way. I can't do it. What am I going to do with the
Wow.
part? The thing about that conversation was Cameron showed so much faith in me, more than I had myself. I said, well, let's get Phantom out of the way first. Let me focus on this.
Right.
And let me come back and sing it for you. If you still want to do it, then let's do it. But if I mess it up, you can't be mad at me. That was my conditions. But I wanted to buy some time to go and think about it. Then I started reading the novel again and really focusing on Jean Valjean. And it just spoke to me, images, and a conduit was created between me and the character that I felt, I've got something to say that I don't feel like I'm mimicking or just doing what's been done before.
Right.
So then when I went back to sing for him, I was amped and excited to do it. And then I was like, well, I hope I don't mess it up because now I want it. And I talked myself into an audition.
Right. I didn't get to see you do it in London. I went to London and I saw Sierra Boggess as Fantine.
Amazing.
Your Love Never Dies co-star. I didn't get to see you. You had already left. Damn it.
I know.
But I'm going to go to Toronto.
Come.
But I want to see, maybe you can do it on Broadway. That'd be fun.
Well, that production's coming to Broadway after.
I know. So are you coming to Broadway?
No, not with that.
No?
It's not on the cards. I'm just focused on Toronto, then
I want
some
you
other
and
things.
Sierra Boggess. She could be Fantine. You could. I mean, I'm no offense to the other people who are playing these roles, but let's just get to it. I love Love Never Dies. I was there for the opening. I saw it multiple times. Oh my God. I still don't understand what people didn't. I'm still angry. I'm angry at whoever was watching who didn't like it.
Oh, it's one of those things,
I know.
I think people can like what they want and dislike what they want.
Right. I don't. They can't. They have to like what I like. They can't dislike.
But it's also one of those things that could have been, it's a business thing as well, A lot of shows were struggling then.
Yeah.
Now it seems like things are really on the up and up, which is great.
Right.
It was a whole, who knows? I don't think you can pinpoint one thing.
Right.
If you can pinpoint one, you can pinpoint 6, and you can counter that with positive things as well. So it is what it is.
So you were playing the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera when you got Love Never Dies, and then they said, oh, we're going to bring this American girl, Sierra Boggess, over to play Christine Daae. And were you like, who's she? Like, who?
Pretty much.
Google
but here's
her,
the thing.
like, the mermaid, the little mermaid? What?
Well, at this point, see, people don't realize I was working on Love Never Dies for 2 years prior to coming out with workshops and recordings.
So you were working with other actresses.
Yeah. So there was, I think, 3 or 4 Christines.
Right.
But when Sierra came, you kind of knew. But I remember the day she came was for the second workshops. She just came straight off the plane. And then we met each other, and they took us into the room to sing Once Upon Another Time. I can't read music and stuff, but I had sung it previously, about 6 months ago. They said, why don't you guys go through that song? And I'm thinking, well, we don't have to do it. We're only doing Act 2. Let's give it a shot. Obviously, Christine starts a song. And I'm thinking, well, she doesn't know it. I didn't know she's got perfect pitch and she could sight read. And she was like, boom. I was like, oh, my God. Unbelievable. She was spot on right away.
So you guys, you stay in touch, obviously. What do you do when you hang out?
Anything. We play music. She's getting better at the guitar, so we try, I get her to sing some duets with me and vice versa. And we just talk about life. She's my best friend, Sadly, we don't live in the same town. So
she wasn't, she didn't know what she was doing in London. I mean, she was sort of like fresh off the boat in London, so I'm sure you helped her out.
Oh, absolutely.
This is where you go eat.
The thing with C is like, we just get on like brother and sister as well.
Yeah.
I trust her. Like you say you want to see us working together.
Yeah.
There's nothing more I would rather want,
Yeah.
I love working with her, and creatively I feel so safe and inspired by her.
Is there any chance she might appear at your concerts downtown?
There's always an open door.
Always an open door.
Yeah.
Get down there, Sierra. Okay, so I want to do something fun with you that I've never done. This is a first. I'll show people first. I asked your fans, you have a lot of fans.
Okay.
First of all, you're married, but the Phantom could easily get laid, right? I mean, like, what, I mean, come on. There's a lot of, okay, like literally, I got hundreds in an hour of questions from girls and like one guy. You have a lot, there's going to be a lot of, are there going to be any men at your concerts? Did you see a sea of women?
What I love about my concerts is my support seems to be female dominated or, however, and then you see the fathers or the husbands being dragged there. And I can see them when the show starts, they're like.
So like the dude with the mask on his testicles.
And they see it, it's that guy. What is he going to sing?
Then they hear the broadgrass.
Well, they see the banjo come out. So, they shift in their seat. Then they hear a Johnny Cash song or something, or they hear one of my originals that are up their street. By the end, they're waiting in line to talk and just say thanks as well, which is a real sort of benchmark for us. I'm like, okay, let's win that guy over.
That's fun.
Because along with them and the great support we get, it's a lot of fun.
Cool. So I have a bunch of people submitted videos on Instagram asking you questions, and I'm going to play you some of my favorites. Okay, and
You can do videos on Instagram now?
Well, yeah, you can do videos. You can do video on Instagram.
Unbelievable.
That's a great technology for something like this. So I am going to play you some of my favorites. Okay, so you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready to do this? Okay.
This is my question for Ramin Karimloo. How old were you when you first started theater, and what was your dream role when you were little?
Thank you for your question. Well, I guess I never really thought I wanted to sing. I still don't think of myself as a singer. Singer's just doing it's fun. Well, I guess 12 when I got inspired by Phantom. So Phantom became a dream role and a bet.
So literally that was your dream role as a kid, and you got to do it. So you're done. You can retire. You're done.
All done. Well, I remember when I did start the part, I said, well, now what? But at this point, I've got other aspirations and
That's why you have to keep
dreams.
making new dreams.
Always, yeah.
Okay, let's do it. This is the one guy.
Hey.
This is your besides me, this is your male fan.
Hello, Ramin. I'd just like to say that I'm a huge fan of yours, and you really inspired me to do musical theater, so thank you for that. Now, my question is, when you first took on the role of Jean Valjean, did you feel any kind of pressure or intimidation?
Well, thank you for your question. I think I'm assuming the pressures he means because of the long list of great Valjeans before me. I didn't because I don't worry about stuff like that because it's not helpful. But what's good about the reference before me is there's some great stuff to use as references.
Right.
But you know, once I read the novel, there was things in there that I thought, oh, I don't think I've ever experienced that as seen that as a Valjean. So I can, and it speaks to me. So once you start honoring your truth, there is no more pressures. I think as artists, especially with social media, you cannot put any weight on other people's opinions because what are you going to do about it?
Right.
You know, and I think reading I don't think actors should look up Google their names because you're only trying to feed your ego because you're looking up to look at good things. And you're bound to find bad things as well because that's just the way things are.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you should be reading the good or the bad.
Right.
You should just do what you do and just hope for the best.
Cool.
Production.
Oh, hey, what's your favorite song to belt in the shower?
That is awesome. Awesome. What do I sing in the shower? I don't tend to sing much anymore. You know what I love singing sometimes is ragtime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anything in
especially in the
particular?
shower, Wheels of a Dream.
That's a good one.
Because it's a lower song, you know, it's a nice...
That's the part you probably won't get cast as.
Never. Never. And it bugs me to this day.
Hi, my name's Melissa, and I was wondering, is it hard for you to get roles with your arm tattoo?
Well, Melissa, good question.
It's a pretty aggressive tattoo. And you are showing it off. I'm sure they appreciate that you're actually wearing
That's it now.
a little t-shirt today.
I can't hide it at castings with long sleeves anymore. They know what's under there. It's actually brought me a lot of luck, to be honest.
Yeah?
Well, things have been very positive since I got it. I don't think people hire me because of it, but...
When did you get it?
I got it all within a year. So I guess, when did it start? It was in Love Never Dies that I started adding to it.
Huh. Wow.
But I just think you got one life to live. So maybe I won't get a swimming role if they don't. But you can easily cover it up, so who knows?
Yeah.
Now, like any producers watching, yeah.
He can cover it up. There's makeup available. It's pretty cool, though.
I would think if you want to get tattoos, make sure you know what you're doing anyways. I don't recommend it, and I also don't not recommend it. But I would keep it off your neck and face for now.
Right. Okay.
Hi, Broadway.com and Ramin. My name is Megan Schmidt. And Ramin, I was wondering if you had any advice for aspiring actors and actresses looking to begin a career in Broadway acting. Thanks so much. Bye.
Good question. I can only give you advice that I sort of try and live by, and that's always keep trying to learn. You know, never feel like anything's ever owed to you.
Right.
Never rest on your laurels. You know, exceed expectations, don't meet them.
Mm-hmm. And make new dreams. After you played the Phantom, make a new dream.
Absolutely. That's the thing. I think people, I find, especially I've noticed it with certain colleagues, that I can see them get bummed about certain things in the industry, and they feel like, why shouldn't I be getting that? And I think, but what are you doing about it?
Right.
You know,
Right.
you're never owed anything.
Right.
You have to go get what you want, and that comes with work and putting time and effort into what you want.
Have you had any like big heartbreaks in your career? Like something that you really, besides Love Never Dies not coming to Broadway and letting me go see it every week, but is there anything like,
Yeah, there was things I haven't got where at the time I was like, oh, you're desperate. At the time I was really,
yeah,
there was times where I thought I had it. I was told I had it, and then it gets taken away. But then I look back and I understand why it never happened. I was saved. You know, sometimes doors are closed for you, and you might not understand it at the time. But I try and live by that, because otherwise this industry is going to drive me insane, because you'll constantly be worried. I just think, I do believe there's work for everyone who wants it and who works for it. And I'm no different. Just because like I'm sat here talking to you now, and you know, this is unbelievable for me, and I really appreciate it, but I don't feel anything's still owed to me.
right.
You know, me going to do Valjean now, although I've done it, this is new clean slate, clean page, and I feel like I've got to earn my keep again, you know?
Right.
Hi, Ramin. What's your favorite Persian food?
Well, I'm getting lots of that at home right now because I'm near my mom. I love lubia polo.
What's that? Tell me, what's that like?
It's got some saffron and rice, some green beans, and some ground beef.
Nice.
And you have it with natural yogurt.
Can you cook? Can you make it?
No.
But you'll eat it.
Yep.
Cool, thank you. A couple more.
I like this. It's a great idea.
Hi, Ramin and Broadway.com. I'm Yael, and I wanted to know what was the most embarrassing moment you had on stage. Thanks.
So I've been kind of lucky. It's basically only in, well...
Not the hat staying up during the full Monty.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah. Let's move away from that one. I guess, you know, I've slipped with the dry ice as the Phantom. So it's not so much
And
embarrassing.
fall?
Oh,
Or just
yeah.
like, you just wiped out?
But for some reason, I'm able to keep time. My fall happens within the beat. So like...
Like what song? What part?
Christine takes my mask off. I'm like, damn you little Ryman. And I'm chasing her. Is this what you wanted to see? Slip up. Curse you. I was like... And at this time, I'm thinking, just keep going.
Right.
And then I replay it in my head. I'm like, you didn't miss a beat. And that happened as Raul once. Where is she? I slipped. They go, Miss Daye, totally in time. And I remember Monsieur Andre, Sam Hiller at the time, just stared at me. And I'm like, I'm not going to look at him because he's the worst for these things. Because he can roll with these punches. And he will, like, draw attention to it. And, like, if Raul did trip, what would Andre do? He'd be like, oh, Monsieur. I remember once... I probably shouldn't even say this, but like...
You should.
You know, I was Raul at the time, and the Phantom goes, anywhere you go, let me go. And he runs off with Christine, and I deflect a gunshot, because I deflected the gunshot, I tripped over my own feet, and I fell. But it was like, bang, and down goes Raul. Monsieur Andre comes, picks me up. Monsieur, you've been shot. And he's playing, I'm like, just get off me. Anyhow, he's probably like, stop talking. So I tend to fall over a lot.
Yeah.
As Andras once, I couldn't get up the barricade. My legs gave way. And next thing you know, David Ashley, who was Grand Terre, and he was like 6'4", 6'5", one hand on my butt, puts me up. That gives me a little hand. He literally gave me a hand to go up. I look back, he's like, he just lifted me up on the barricade. Brilliant.
Awesome. All right, a couple more.
Hi, Ramin. My name is Riley, and my question is, if you had the chance to do any show with any performer, what would the show be and who would the performer be? Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Good question. You got one? Any ideas?
Where do you start, you know? Obviously, Sierra. I'd love to
Are
do
there
a
any
show
Sierra shows, like, other than bringing Love Never Dies to Broadway? Which I still want to happen.
Well, see, doing Kiss of a Spider would be cool to do. But right away I'm thinking, well, Pacino and Glengarry, you know.
Yeah, you want to do, yeah, exactly.
Or like Streetcar. I really want to play Stanley.
Ah.
So if you have Sierra in that.
Okay.
Scarlett
You really want to do something like, how about a play with Pacino? What would you do?
I'll do anything. I'll sweep the stage just to watch him.
Okay, ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Hi, Ramin. I just wanted to know, when are we going to get married?
appreciate the question. I'm pretty sure it's probably illegal in many of the states.
As
here.
you are married.
Yeah, you know.
With children.
Yes, happily. So
Is that officially a proposal? Does that count as a proposal? She didn't ask you to get married. She just said, when are we? She acted like you're already engaged, and like Miss Adelaide in Guys and Dolls, like, when are we getting married?
That's another show I'd love to do.
Guys and Dolls.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do that.
Let's do it.
So you don't have an answer for her, obviously.
Well, I'm going to say never because of my current situation.
Sorry.
I plan on staying married, so.
Well, thank you everyone for turning questions in. That was great. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for interacting with the people out there in the dark.
No problem. Thank you for the proposal and the questions.
So you're at Subculture. You have tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, 2 more.
The last show is on Saturday. And everyone should check it out. There might be some cool guest stars. You never know.
Yeah.
And then you're going up to your homeland, one of your homelands, up to Canada, and starting September 27th at the Princess of Wales Theatre in Toronto, you will be Jean Valjean.
Yeah.
How's the beard?
I'm kind of liking it this time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as itchy as I thought.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great production, you know. This is a brand new production as well.
Yeah, I know. It's like
Some
the
new-
newly imagined Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited. I'll be there. Everyone needs to check it out if you're in Canada, or just go to Canada. It's a nice country.
Go.
Gets a bad
Check it
rap
out.
sometimes by Americans, but it's nice up there.
Why would it get bad rap?
You know, that Blame Canada song and, you know.
It's because, you know, we don't take people off.
Thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Great to see you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.